Black Dragon Mountain Island, 9-star bay. Besides Luo Feng's villa, there was a wooden villa. Luo Feng followed the staircases along to this 3-level villa, and its glass door was shut. Creak. Luo Feng pushed open the door and entered. This was a room with at least 100 square feet. In it were several computer desks, and on every desk there was a laptop. Before each laptop was a person typing away on the virtual keyboards, looking for information. There were a total of 21 workers in that room. In the seat closest to the back, at the largest desk, was a youth who looked very similar to Luo Feng. The only difference was that he was skinnier. Big brother, Luo Hua yelled out, shocked. It's quite bustling in here. Luo Feng smiled as he surveyed the workroom. Mr. Luo, how do you do? Mr. Luo. The people within quickly got up and down, bowing. These group of workers were all Luo Hua's partners and fellow investors. As he was accustomed to their work, he had brought them into the virtual universe. Even though he had Ash to assist him, there were still differences between Ash and humans. Big brother, why have you come here? Come, let's go over there to chat. Hold on. Luo Hua swiftly returned to the computer, entering a few commands before running over. Let's go. Beside the workroom was a tea room. Luo Feng and Luo Hua sat down. Big brother coming over to visit while I'm working is a rare sight. Luo Hua laughed. It's like this. Luo Feng smiled. Tomorrow, there's a triennial Ganwu auction. Ganwu auction? Luo Hua seemed stunned after hearing, following which he revealed glee and excitement, saying, is it the legendary highest-level auction in the Ganwu universe country? During a conversation I had with investors before, I heard them mention it. I heard the requirement for the auction is extremely high. The lowest requirement is a 3-star client. Luo Feng nodded. Damn. Luo Hua stared wide-eyed. 3-star client. The level of this auction is really high. 3-star client, the total amount of 3-star clients in the Black Dragon Mountain starfield was simply pitiful. They were all huge figures. Luo Feng laughed and said, the reason why I'm here is to ask, the $2 trillion universe dollars I handed to you 2 years ago, how is it going? Talking about that, Luo Hua revealed an expression of glee and excitement, saying, the $2 trillion universe dollars, even within the universe financial markets and many other investments, is considered large capital. There are many pros and cons to large capital. The good is that we can actually influence the markets to a certain degree. The bad is that it's not as mobile. Wanting to liquidate it may be hard sometimes. Last year during the exchanges, it peaked up to 50% more. However, during the bad times, we cut even. We've definitely accumulated large capital experience, perfecting our investment tactics. This year, the highest point peaked with profits at $3.6 trillion universe dollars. However, recently it hasn't been as good. We still have $3 trillion in capital. However, don't worry, we must be patient. Right now I'm just waiting for the market price to explode. Luo Hua laughed. Luo Feng nodded. I need some money to use. How much can you take out? If you need money, then we have to liquidate. After all, my capital isn't in cash. Luo Hua emphasized, however, to liquidate now, big brother, honestly, my plan is just about to finish over this half a year. Right now it's just about waiting for the price to explode and to earn a large sum. Selling off right now, it's simply not worth it. Big brother, if you are rushed, I can sell them all off in a day. However, selling off such a large sum will easily topple the prices. I estimate a return of 2.8 trillion would be considered not bad already. Oh, Luo Feng nodded, no rush, this auction will continue for 10 days. If I don't have enough money, I'll contact you. Okay, Luo Hua nodded. The largest gathering in the Ganwu universe country, the Ganwu auction. Luo Feng had already been anticipating the triennial event for a long time. Big brother, I'll be reachable at any time. If you need large amounts of money, immediately inform me. I will immediately sell off for cash, and if it's truly urgent, I've already talked to a friend, he can lend you some cash first, using my investment capital as settlement. Luo Hua said. Luo Feng. Beside him Zhu Xin smiled, when you return, you must tell me all about the auction. I too have an interest in this Ganwu universe's greatest gathering. Luo Feng nodded, bidding farewell to his family and immediately leaving 9-star bay. Waving down a flying horse and riding it to the transmission belt. Transmission. Luo Feng stood within the transmission spot, in his hand was the invite to the Ganwu auction. Luo Feng immediately vanished from the Black Dragon Mountain Island and was sent to the Ganwu continent, into a floating city above. The invite shot out several beams of light, causing the floating city's defenses to automatically open a pathway and allowed Luo Feng through. This was a continent that was incomparably elegant amongst the clouds. The city was exquisite and beautiful, the flowers and plants were scattered and easily seen all over, and the most eye-catching and enormous construct of the entire floating city was the auction hall. Once every 3 years, the Ganwu auction would always be held here at the auction hall. Sir, how do you do? Welcome to this year's Ganwu auction, this is your seat number. Miss, how do you do? Welcome to this year's Ganwu auction, this is your seat number. People were all dressed in luxurious, or ancient clothing, some with snake bodies while others were as tall as 7 to 8 meters. The number of people here to attend the auction was simply massive. There were already 2 long lines formed at the entrance of the auction hall. So many 3-star clients. Luo Feng too was in line. In front of him was a huge cold-looking man that seemed like a raging fire, and behind him was a 1-meter-tall gloomy and cold dwarf. However, he emitted a natural aura of strength, causing Luo Feng to feel the pressure. 3-star client, most of them are sector lords. Very few are big businessmen or youths with large backgrounds. Babata's voice resounded in Luo Feng's mind. Most of them are sector lords. Luo Feng gazed around. These 2 long lines awaiting to enter had at least a few thousand people. A few thousand sector lords. This auction, there's a total of 16 entrances. Hence, it isn't just here where people are queuing, there are 15 other lines formed around. Right now the number of sector lords queuing should be about 100,000. Babata said. 100,000, Luo Feng gawped. 100,000 sector lords. That was madness. Pewda, there were over 1.31 million in the previous auction, do you think there will be more this time? The huge iron-faced man that seemed like a raging ball of flames in front of Luo Feng said softly. Yay, it'll definitely exceed this time. It's been said that this year there is a quota for entering the primal universe, and this quota is a sector lord quota. The highest level allowed is for sector lords to enter. Many undying have come here wanting to buy this quota. And because of this, many sector lords have come here. In front of that iron-faced man, a man with a hoarse voice, dressed entirely in a robe spoke. Luo Feng was stunned. 1.31 million. Primal universe. Standing in line, he naturally heard many of the discussions of the sector lords. The content of these discussions completely shocked Luo Feng. Because, many of the topics they mentioned left Luo Feng completely bewildered. For example, this time at the Starfield border, we had a total of 18 sector lords, only 3 were lucky to return. The other 15, they may come out after a few tens of thousands years, a few million years, or they may never come out at all. Your Tuoda army has made a huge contribution in the battlefield outside the Starfield this time, congrats. Beside him, the sector lords recognized each other, discussing these sort of topics. Luo Feng was just simply blinking his eyes and stayed silent as he listened. This brother, which family or organization are you from? A team beside Luo Feng, one of them, a skinny single-eye man smiled as he waved at Luo Feng. No family, no organization. Luo Feng replied frankly. Oh, the single-eyed man nodded as he heard, not asking any more. Just from their auras, one could easily determine the power levels of people around. The surrounding large group of sector lords could easily see that Luo Feng was a much weaker little fellow amongst them. However, in this group, the weaker one was, the more others couldn't offend him. It was because a person with weaker power being able to become a 3-star client meant his background was usually extremely terrifying. Sir, how do you do? Welcome to this Ganwu auction, this is your seat number. Luo Feng received the ticket, looking at the black slip of paper. Half of it was translucent with a screen on it. On the screen displayed, KND 99286. It's really huge. Entering the auction, Luo Feng was half dazed. The entire auction was akin to one of Earth's soccer fields. The surroundings were a blur with a large number of people. However, the number of seats in this auction hall was simply too many. There's a total of 3 million seats here. Every seat is 6 meters wide and 10 meters tall. Babata's voice resounded in Luo Feng's mind. Luo Feng nodded. Every seat was 6 meters wide and 10 meters tall, such a huge seating space, with a total of 3 million of them. With just a glance, it was impossible to see the end of the hall. It was as though a world was formed just from putting these countless seats together. The reason behind the huge construction of seats was to accommodate the large physically structured guests. KND 99286. Luo Feng found the engraved number on the seat and sat in it. 6 meters wide, even bigger than his bed. Countless seats. Discussion filled the entire hall, as though countless gods were in conversation. So many sector lords. Luo Feng held his breath. The Ganwu universe country has a total of 13,000 star fields. Like the Black Dragon Mountain star field, there's close to 100 sector lords. Then the entire Ganwu universe country, on estimate, has over 1 million sector lords. In truth, because of the teachings of many undyings, the Ganwu universe's chances of having sector lords growing largely. There's a total of over 1 million sector lords in the entire Ganwu universe country. Luo Feng felt his heartbeat race. Over 1 million sector lords. The Ganwu universe country, just what you would expect from a universe country. At such a level, it was simply enormous. The Ganwu Empire is extraordinarily powerful. Even your teacher cannot compare to it. Undying beings can only lower their royal heads in front of the gigantic Ganwu Empire. After all, there are numerous fighters in Ganwu Empire. Of course, the Ganwu Empire wouldn't wantonly anger people like your teacher who aren't tied to any organization and are also extremely powerful. However, if they do actually start fighting, after paying a certain price, there will be no problem with eradicating people like your teacher. Sighed Babata, there's nothing that can be done. That's the power of numbers. Luo Feng nodded. As he looked at the auction, the countless number of seats, and the countless number of sector lords, he understood what the power of numbers meant. 3 hours later, guests. A clear sound instantly spread around and echoed around the auction. Everyone in the vast auction quickly settled down and became quiet. Luo Feng looked towards the center of the auction. A bald old man with a black turtle shell on his back stood in the center of the auction. Above him was a 3D projection of this old man that was 1,000 meters tall. Everyone, welcome to this time's Ganwu auction. I hereby thank the fantastic support of the Virtual Universe Network Company, the Universe First Bank, the Universe Galaxy Bank, the Battle Axe Coliseum, the Universe Mercenary Alliance, and the Ganwu Empire. Smiled the old man. I'm sure many of you recognize me. You can all call me Old Batuo. Once again, Old Batuo will be your host for this marvelous banquet. In our last Ganwu auction, there were 1,316,038 participants. We just finished tallying up the number of participants in this time's auction. Does anyone know how many people there are? 1,823,959 people. 1.8 million, 500,000 more than the previous one. The entire auction suddenly went into a wave-like uproar. The lowest person here was a 3-star client. Within the densely packed seats, Luo Feng smacked his lips and sighed to himself, within the Black Dragon Mountain starfield, my wealth can rank within the top 100. However, across the entire Ganwu Empire, after reaching a different position, the things you see also change. Before reaching the minimum qualification of a 3-star client, you don't even have the right to participate in this Ganwu auction. I'll cut the small talk. The time to officially begin this time's auction is soon. Same as always, we'll first have an auction as warm-up before we officially start. The turtle-shelled old man pointed to the side. Within an instant, a gigantic screen appeared. A beautiful, mesmerizing galaxy appeared. Galaxy after galaxy flashed past. Each of these galaxies had many life planets, and there were many powerful fighters within the life planets. This is the Tanna starfield. Out of the 13,000 starfields in our Ganwu Empire, it is one of smaller starfields. There are a total of 668 galaxies in the entire starfield. Before, it was the land of an undying being. However, this undying being is preparing to embark on a life and death adventure, so he wants to sell the entire starfield. So, the warm-up auction for our auction will be this starfield, Tanna starfield, yelled the turtle-shelled old man loudly. The auction went into an uproar. Luo Feng, who was sitting on a large chair, was also shocked. Tanna starfield. Auctioning off a starfield right off the bat. Keep in mind that a low-level civilization like the Silverblue Empire only contains 8 galaxies. Even though this Tanna starfield is a smaller starfield, it still contains 600 galaxies. The warm-up item is a small starfield. Looks like many valuable, expensive items will appear in this time's auction. I heard that the most valuable item is a spot to head over to the primal universe. This time's auction is definitely one of the best auctions within the past 10,000 years. A few voices of discussion carried over from the large seats beside Luo Feng. The Ganwu auction was once every 3 years. However, each auction was a bit different. Every 1,000 or 10,000 years, an auction with high-level treasures would appear. Usually, you could tell the level of the auction from how many participants there are. The Tanna Starfield. As long as you don't establish your own empire within the Starfield, you can enjoy the protection from the Ganwu Empire. A starfield like this can definitely become the foundation of a family that will go on for thousands of billions of years. It can become a place to nurture warriors and raise slaves. There are only so many starfields within the Ganwu Empire, and fewer of them are appearing in auctions. Now, everybody cast your bids. Starting price, 300 mixed element units. 400 mixed element units. The price immediately soared. This scene confused Luo Feng in the distance. Babata, the price of a galaxy is around 1,000, 10,000 universe dollars. This starfield contains a total of 668 galaxies, so technically 200 or 300 mixed element units should be enough. Luo Feng, you're talking about a single galaxy. And this is an entire starfield. This is a completely different case. If galaxies are spread out, they can easily be picked on by surrounding organizations which will thereby inhibit their development. And an entire starfield is united, said Babata. Every galaxy within a starfield supports each other, so it will be hard for surrounding organizations to pressure them. So, a single starfield is worth a lot, said Babata. Luo Feng held his black card as he looked towards the large screen in the center. The numbers on the screen constantly refreshed. 400 mixed element units. 420 mixed element units. 460 mixed element units. ... Within the blink of an eye, the price changed to 860 mixed element units. 861.868.876. The rate of increase slowed down. 1,000 mixed element units. 1,000 mixed element units. The number that suddenly appeared caused the entire auction to go silent and nobody bid again. 1,000 mixed element units, counting down 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Congratulations, customer ID KBR 38293, you have just become the owner of the Tanna Starfield. The turtle-shelled old man's voice was extremely bright. There isn't much time left until the auction officially begins. 58, 57.10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. His voice rumbled like a deity. The center of the auction became extremely bright. Light shone on the faces of the powerful fighters in their seats. This time's auction officially begins. For our first batch of goods, our customers can see the first 1,000 items being auctioned off on their auction cards. Please make the necessary preparations if you wish to purchase something, yelled the turtle-shelled old man. Now, for our first item, 92 metallic life forms of the Boner clan. Metallic Boner clan life forms can merge with spaceships and grant them self-regenerating and self-upgrading abilities. Metallic Boner clan life forms, a total of 92. The starting bid is 200 billion universe dollars. The 92 highest bids will receive these metallic Boner clan life forms, yelled the turtle-shelled old man. Within moments, many started to cast their bids. Luo Feng sat on his throne within the crowd and lowered his head to look at the black card in his hand. 92 items right off the bat, quite fast. This metallic life form can actually merge with spaceships, and as this life form increases in strength, the spaceship will also continue to upgrade. Interesting. Luo Feng watched the continuously increasing bids, shook his head, and stopped bidding. Auction item after auction item was being auctioned off like flowing water. The lowest final bid was a few dozen billion universe dollars. Normally, the final bids were around a few hundred billion universe dollars. After all, the initial items of the auction all fell under this price range. 1,000 mixed element units. Probably only 4-star clients could offer such a price. The Lankei fruit is the best item to raise monsters and plants. Even if you are heavily injured, consuming the Lankei fruit can heal you. Using 100 Lankei fruits as a single unit, there are 39 units of Lankei fruits. Each unit has a starting bid of 100 billion universe dollars. Once again, the bids began. An average galaxy with a few dozen thousand planets was priced around 100 billion to a trillion universe dollars. Luo Feng, purchase the next unit. This Lankei fruit is very beneficial to the cloud contact vine. And so, Luo Feng finally spent 180 billion and 181 billion universe dollars to purchase 2 units of Lankei fruits. An automaton race battle uniform. It perfectly protects your entire body. The most outer layer of the automaton race battle uniform set naturally forms an energy shield, and the source of energy for that shield comes from the energy crystals in the interior of the battle uniform set. This automaton battle uniform set is a D8 grade battle uniform set. Even if a little Star Traveler kiddo puts it on, even a Domain Lord level 5 or 6 stage fighter wouldn't be able to break it open. Even their spiritual force won't be able to penetrate it. There is only one automaton race battle uniform set. This is definitely something you would want to buy for your favorite disciple or your grandson. With it, they will be much safer. Starting bid of 1 mixed element unit, yelled the turtle-shelled old man. This item shocked Luo Feng. The wearer doesn't need any sort of his own power to block an attack. This automaton race battle uniform set. Luo Feng has never heard of it. However, it'll be useless if a sector lord wears this thingy. Damn, the price is soaring. Luo Feng looked at the result, which caused his jaw to drop, 9.8 mixed element units. This is the final price, nearing 10 mixed element units. An item purely for gifting your favorite disciple or grandson, actually neared the price of all the treasures Luo Feng obtained in the world within a world. Luo Feng, it's rare to encounter an automaton race battle uniform set with such a high defensive capabilities. Don't mention a D8 grade 1, you probably haven't even seen a C grade 1. This kind of thing is purely a luxury good. The person who purchased this battle uniform set is probably an undying being. Said Babata. Item after item passed. All sorts of items caused one to get dizzy. Any of those items would cause domain lords to go crazy. However, in the most important ceremony of the Ganwu Empire, there were around 1 million sector lords and even a few undying beings who wouldn't go soft on their bidding. 3 batches of items, a total of 3,000 items, were swiftly sold. Now comes the 4th batch of items. Everyone can see the next 1,000 items on their auction cards. If you see something you want to purchase, please make the necessary preparations. The turtle-shelled old man remained smiling as he spoke. The auction suddenly became silent. A countless number of powerful fighters on their thrones watched their cards to see the next 1,000 items to be auctioned off. Nan Shen Armament. The Nan Shen Armament. It's one of the 9 great weapons for the controller-type spirit readers, the Nan Shen Armament. Luo Feng, this is the most suitable spiritual weapon for you. You must buy this Nan Shen Armament. Right after Luo Feng finished looking, Babata's energetic yelling rang in his mind. Controller, one of 9 godly weapons. The Nan Shen Armament. Luo Feng looked curiously down at the black slip in his hand. The screen on the slip had a detailed explanation of the 1,000 items. It's most suitable for you, Luo Feng. It's usually extremely difficult to buy one, Luo Feng. You definitely have to buy it. I understand, let me take a look first. Luo Feng looked carefully at the screen on the slip. Luo Feng was swiftly able to spot the item Nan Shen Armament. Gently tapping, he accessed the detailed explanation of the item. Nan Shen Armament, one of the 9 godly weapons for the controller-type spirit reader. Its full name is the Hun Tian Yan, or the 9-layer Hun Tian Yan. The Nan Shen Armament's normal form is that of a dark golden elongated L-rod. Within it lies 10,081 golden blades as thin as cicada wings. Every blade is infused with profound engravings and energies of the origin laws. The 9 godly controller weapons, which are the embodiments of origin laws, of which 8 of them are gold, wood, water, fire, earth, wind, thunder and light. These 8 origin laws can then be combined to form the majestic laws of either time or space. The last of the 9 godly weapons was created from the fusion of time and space, the 2 most profound of the origin laws. And the Nan Shen Armament is a mixture of gold and time. As these 2 origin laws are fused to form the godly weapon, its power was immense. Nan Shen Armament has a total of 9 forms. Each form is stronger than the other. Similarly, the difficulty to wield each of these forms soars as one goes up. The 9-layer Nan Shen Armament is incredibly difficult to master. The first form, to a star level, it is incredibly difficult. To be able to unleash the first form during the star level, one would be deemed invincible within that level. The third form, to be able to unleash it during the universe level, one would be deemed invincible within the same level. It will not be too difficult to acquire a 1000 match winning streak even in the huge Battle Axe Coliseum. The sixth form. To be able to unleash it in the Domain Lord level, one would be deemed invincible within the same level. Widening the field to the Ganwu universe country, even the entire human race. A Domain Lord that could unleash the sixth form would be considered as one of the pinnacle warriors in the same level and even comparable to the same level Golden Horned Beast. The seventh form. If it were a level 9 Sector Lord who is able to unleash it, that person would be at the pinnacle of Sector Lords. The eighth form. This form is incredibly difficult to achieve. A level 9 Sector Lord who is able to unleash the eighth form would be deemed invincible amongst the Sector Lords in the entire Ganwu universe country. The ninth form, the highest form. From time immemorable within this vast universe, no Sector Lords have ever been able to unleash the ninth form. This is because Sector Lords who are able to unleash the ninth form usually would have broken through to the Undying level already. Nan Shen armament is incredibly strong, but it also had its weakness. It was strong because of its 9 forms, each more powerful than the one before. It was weak because of its difficulty. People with poor comprehension skill would be better off with normal spirit weapons. The auction started at 500 billion universe dollars. There were a total of 9 of them. 9 layer Hun Tian Yan. Great, Luo Feng muttered. At this moment, sitting on the large seat to the left of Luo Feng, a black-scaled man that was close to 60 meters tall said softly to him, "This brother, you've taken a fancy to the 9 layer Hun Tian Yan. That Nan Shen armament isn't for normal people's usage. The 9 godly weapons are all incredibly difficult to use, as their utilization is mostly based on the understanding of the origin laws. Without that ability, it's better to buy normal spirit weapons, as it'll be better for unleashing one's true strength. Remember, in buying weapons, it's not about buying the best, but what's the most suitable." Makes a lot of sense. Luo Feng smiled as he glanced at the huge black-scaled man. The black-scaled man chuckled and opened his big wide mouth. The difficulty of the 9 godly weapons is immensely tedious. Like that Nan Shen armament, a Sector Lord who is able to unleash the 8th form would have normally broken through to Undying already. Little brother, even if you have money, you shouldn't waste it like that. Buying something that suits yourself would be better. Thanks. Luo Feng smiled and didn't speak more, thinking within, this Nan Shen armament is best suited for me. Luo Feng currently already had some comprehension of the gold origin laws. As for the space laws, even though Luo Feng didn't have any progress, he was working hard on it. With such qualities, he definitely had to work hard to use the Nan Shen armament. Luo Feng, the maximum potential of the soaring shuttle is only until universe level. Right now, your golden horned beast's body is completely able to unleash the full power of the soaring shuttle. It's not much of a challenge to you anymore. And the Nan Shen armament isn't afraid of you using it. Just worried that you currently do not possess the ability to unleash its full power. The 9 forms are awaiting your breakthrough. Understood. Luo Feng felt super ambitious and pumped. 9 forms. I'll break through 1 layer at a time. Babata, how much do you think the Nan Shen armament will go for? Luo Feng asked. There's a total of 9 of them. Amongst the Sector Lords here, only Spirit Reader controllers will vie for it, and only those along the path of gold and space origin laws will go for it. However, since the size of the hall and number of people is huge, according to my calculations, the price will rush pretty high. However, the amount of money you have should be enough. Okay. Luo Feng nodded unconsciously. At this point, the current amount he had was about 3.986 trillion. Getting the Nan Shen armament shouldn't be hard. As time passed, expensive and valuable weapons aroused bidding wars, swiftly being bought and auctioned off in the incomparably vast auction hall. 99% of the people present were Sector Lords, the others were either people with huge backgrounds or Undying. The next auction item is the Nan Shen armament. It's one of the 9 godly weapons. As for the Nan Shen armament's power, I'm sure everyone is clear on it. Many Sector Lord controllers constantly fret over it, however once they begin to comprehend the origin laws and breakthrough, their current spirit weapons are unable to unleash their full strengths. With the Nan Shen armament however, one would never have to worry about that. It's not afraid of you using it, just that your ability might be inadequate. Nan Shen armament, 9 forms. If you are able to unleash the 9th form, in the vast universe, not just among the human race, but even the automaton race, the beast race or even the space beasts, you'd probably find it hard to find an opponent. The turtle-shelled old man's voice reverberated about, "All right, we'll begin the bid now. There's a total of 9 of them, the highest 9 bids will be chosen. The lowest starting bid is $0.500 billion universe dollars. Immediately, without an end in sight, the blurred images of the huge king-size seats, millions of sector lords and even undyings, many of whom began to bid. Countless king-size seats, one of which, Luo Feng sat within, he too began to key in his bid, $600 billion universe dollars. Damn! Luo Feng stared. The numbers on the screen constantly jumped, the screen displayed all of the top 9 bids. $550 billion, $0.60 billion, $0.660 billion, $0.700 billion. The prices flew rapidly. $800 billion. Luo Feng keyed in again. $890 billion, $0.900 billion, $0.960 billion. The numbers beside swiftly rose past Luo Feng's numbers. $1.5 trillion. The number reported on the screen jumped up violently. Madness. Luo Feng stared. Luo Feng, the Nanshen armament bidding price usually will go up to at least 2 trillion universe dollars. Babitter's voice resounded in Luo Feng's mind. It was true. 2 trillion, 0.2, 1 trillion, 0.2, 11 trillion. The speed slowly began to decline. 2.18 trillion. Luo Feng entered the price, staring at the screen, the number of the 9th highest price, the speed of increase gradually slowed down. 2.19 trillion. 0.2, 6 trillion. It jumped again. Luo Feng was beginning to panic, even though he was able to see many items that would normally be hard to obtain in reality. However, the number of powerful people gathered here was simply too many. He would easily encounter people willing to give unreasonable prices just to obtain these treasures. Indeed, the price continued to rise. 3 trillion, 3.08 trillion, 0.3, 1 trillion. The rising prices caused Luo Feng to hold his breath, his eyes turning slightly red. Babata, why have the prices raised to such unreasonable numbers? It's an auction after all, it's impossible to completely predict it. Sometimes there might be 10 people who really want the Nanshen armament, and these may be warriors with lots of capital, hence the price would rise a lot. After all, there's only 9 items in total. After it's over, if you wish to buy a Nanshen armament, it would be up to luck altogether. After all, not every Ganwu auction would have Nanshen armaments. Babata said, just bid, you must get it. Understood. Luo Feng gritted his teeth, looking at the current bid price, entering another price, 0.3, 2 trillion. However, following the shocking bidding, the price quickly broke past 3.2 trillion. Babata, send a message to my little brother, tell him to immediately borrow some money. Luo Feng asked. The exchange of funds wasn't immediate after the deal was sealed. Rather, after all the 1,000 items of the auction were auctioned off, they would do a mass exchange. Your brother has replied, saying that with just a phone call his friend will immediately transfer the funds. Right now he can at most transfer 2 trillion universe dollars. Luo Feng relaxed a little. The bidding increases had begun to slow down. Obviously even the sector lords didn't have bottomless wells of money. 3.6112 trillion universe dollars. Luo Feng keyed in. On the screen the number changes began to slow down, 3.6081, 0.3.6085, 0.3.6090. Finally the numbers stopped. Finally the 9th highest bidding price was 3.6101 trillion universe dollars. The 9th highest bidding price is 3.6101 trillion, after a 3-second countdown. 0.3, 0.2, 0.1, congrats to the 9 guests, you have become owners of Nanshen armaments. The turtle-shelled old man shouted loudly, we will continue, the next item is. Luo Feng looked at the black slip screen in his hand, the words appeared on it. Congratulations, guest number KND 99286, you've successfully bid for the Nanshen armament, please prepare to sign off and exchange the funds for the item after the end of the auction. Luo Feng, this Nanshen armament will always accompany you into the universe level, domain lord level, sector lord level and even after you've broken into the undying level. It will accompany you for 10,000, 100,000 years or maybe even longer. This will be your most important partner, accompanying you through life or death. You have to work hard to bring out its fullest potential. Babata encouraged. Luo Feng nodded, he couldn't help feel extremely excited within. Nanshen armament. His own weapon. After about an hour, this batch of auction items had been sold off. Luo Feng too exchanged the funds and scheduled for the exchange location of the Nanshen armament in reality. Right now it's the 5th batch of auction items, everybody should be able to see in their screens. The next 1,000 items up for auction, whatever you wish to bid for, please get ready. The turtle-shelled old man's voice reverberated about in the vast auction hall. Countless sector lords in the king-size seats all looked down at their slips. Luo Feng too lowered his head to look, and with a glance. Damn, life fruit. Luo Feng couldn't help but force a smile. Of the 1,000 items there was a life fruit within. Life fruit, lowest price $500 billion universe dollars, a total of 12 of them. My balance? I've only got about 374 billion, not even enough for the starting bid. Luo Feng rubbed his head, blinking his eyes, feeling somewhat helpless. The lowest price for the life fruit is 500 billion universe dollars. However, the life fruit is akin to a sector lord's second life. Hence the price will rocket even higher. It normally exceeds 2 trillion, and if more people are fighting over it, it may get even higher. Babata said. No way around it. Luo Feng shook his head and gave up on the life fruit. Even though Hong wanted a life fruit for himself, he too was prepared to use it to nurture his cloud contact vine. In truth, nurturing the cloud contact vine with the life fruit was an extremely wasteful action because the life fruit was as valuable as a sector lord's second life. Things that were used to nurture the plant life form were items that were far below the life fruit in value, like what Luo Feng had purchased before, the swelling water fruit. Back then, you fought for the Thunderstones in order to exchange for treasures in the world within a world. That exchange was valid for using the life fruit to nurture the cloud contact vine. However, in truth, eating too many at a time is not good for the vine. The life energy of the life fruit is simply too much and huge. Swallowing all at one go will make the vine bloated, wasting a lot of its other beneficial effects. It's simply a waste. The life fruit, its most optimal usage isn't to nurture plant life. Didn't you already buy 200 swelling water fruits? The swelling water fruit is used to nurture spirit beasts and plants. It even has medicinal properties, and its portions are smaller than the life fruit, making it easier to absorb. The cloud contact vine may still get bloated, but it won't ever implode internally like it would from eating the life fruit. By using one swelling water fruit every 10 days for 3 years, thereby using 100 of them, your big brother Hong's cloud contact vine will be able to grow to universe level 3 or 4. This would be much better than swallowing one life fruit immediately. The life fruit finally reached a bid of 2.8609 trillion. It was still cheaper than the Nanshen armament, but still extremely expensive. The next batch of items began to show themselves, causing Luo Feng to drool over them. However, he had insufficient funds in his pockets. Even if I don't buy, looking is not bad too. Luo Feng smiled as he held onto his slip. On it displayed were the 1,000 items. He casually browsed through them and looked at their details. The details and information of each valuable item were indeed eye-openers. It allowed Luo Feng to gain knowledge about many secret items of the universe. When Luo Feng participated in the universe's greatest gathering, the Ganwu auction, his little brother Luo Hua was in his workstation. 9-star bay, within that workroom of the villa. It's boring. Laying in a chair, there were 6 laptops on the table before him. He was observing every one of them, which had a web page displayed on their screens with information about his important investments. After half a day of virtual wrestling games and another half of gun games, there's nothing else to do, so boring. Luo Hua lay down, his legs on the table. The other workers in the room were all seriously engaged in their work. As a financial investor, the rest days could be half a month, a few months or even half a year without having to do anything. However, once the ball started rolling they would get extremely busy. My God, XPHF0008919279 has suddenly appeared with a huge price. A young lady shouted. Oh! The initially bored Luo Hua sat up immediately, pulling his chair and sliding towards the desk, staring hard at the second laptop screen on his left. The screen obviously displayed the new higher price. Luo Hua smiled. I'm not afraid of the troubled waters, just afraid of the stagnant ones. The opportunity has come. In such investments, Luo Hua's initial investment had already dropped 35%. For such high-risk investments, these sort of returns were already considered high. The only reason he could do this was because he had confidence. From the initial 700 billion universe dollars, after these 2 years of investments, it had grown to 800 billion. It may seem like an incremental increase, but that was only because he hadn't sold anything, as he was waiting for a good chance. The longer one waits, the higher the returns. It just depends on who's more patient. I hope this time everything will come through. Luo Hua was like a venomous snake, staring hard at the screen. The universe large investment markets included not just him or an investor with $2 trillion universe dollars. It even included 4-star and 5-star clients. He had to be extremely cautious. As he was dealing with the bigger financial market, it was easy to encounter the high-level players. They may be the investment department from universe countries, maybe the Universe Galaxy Bank, or the Universe First Bank, or even some large organizations. The moment he encounters a high-level player and isn't careful enough, he could not only not reap his rewards but also may lose his life. Third-level financial security risk, this ensures that they stayed within the safety level. First group, second group, third group, keep an eye on XPHF 000891-9279, you know the drill. Luo Hua shouted. Yes boss. A group of youths from Earth all were extremely excited. Luo Hua's investment this time, each deal period had a window of 12 hours and every exchange lasted about 4 hours. Boss, the price is swiftly rising, it's already risen 6%, do we sell? Wait, Luo Hua ordered. It's begun to fall, only left with a 5% increase, and it's continuing to fall. The moment the prices began to move, it indeed made people worried, because the moment it loses 1/3 road of its value, with their 3-level security, it would already implode. Then the 700 billion capital would be reduced to null, returning to nothing. Luo Hua was expressionless, like a venomous snake, staring hard at the screen before him. We still have 2 minutes until the collection time. It's rising quickly, violently rising. During the first exchange period it rose 12%. During the second it rose 8%. During the third it fell 6%. During the fourth, it slightly shook, falling 0.8%. From the previous stagnant state, it had completely gone volatile. Even a high-level player wouldn't dare get careless here. The larger the investment one plays with, the moment it falls, it would be hard to sell even if one wanted to. When compared, a large investor would actually have a harder time with higher turnover than a smaller investor. During the fifth period, it began to rise again, rising all the way to 15%. In different batches sell off 30% of the goods. Luo Hua ordered coldly. Boss, the condition is good right now. Looking at today's madness, even with all the smaller investors, it will go crazy again tomorrow. It will definitely have a period of rise again. Immediately someone from below shouted, however they didn't dare delay their actions at all. The boss's order, one could have an opinion about it but still had to carry out the order. This was because in times of crisis, even a small delay could result in heavy losses. First group's goods completely sold. Second group completely sold. Third group completely sold. The three little groups shouted loudly. Luo Hua, who was sitting in his chair before the desk, smiled. Very good. During the sixth period, the price continued to rise, making it seem like Luo Hua had sold off too early. This batch of investment had a total of 700 billion as capital, selling off 30% of the goods, that's 210 billion. Even with the third-level security risk, it's still rising today. We've lost the opportunity to earn 20 to 30 billion universe dollars in a short period of time. The young people were engaged in discussion, however despite their discussions, they didn't dare go against any of Luo Hua's orders. Sell off 10% of goods. Continue with another 10%. During the seventh period, Luo Hua actually did 2 exchanges, and during this seventh period, it was still rising. During the eighth period, it began to rise initially but fell by a lot after, finally falling throughout the period. During the ninth period, the moment it started it continued falling. Sell 10%. Luo Hua ordered. Under these volatile situations, Luo Hua still maintained clear orders. Throughout the dangerous situations he gave his orders, however with the rises he still made profits. During the 12th period, it continued to rise. And after which it still continued to rise. Throughout this entire process, Luo Hua maintained his position and continued to sell. The target has been met, sell off all remaining goods. Luo Hua ordered. Yes. Amidst the chaotic situation, Luo Hua managed to sell off all goods under his hand. 2 years of waiting, half a year of arrangement, finally it's over. Luo Hua smiled. No matter how much the price would continue to fluctuate after, it didn't mean anything to him anymore. His required target had been met and that was enough. After the final exchange, the initial capital of 700 billion had ballooned to an enormous amount of 4.681 trillion. It could be considered 6 times that of the initial investment. Luo Hua was very satisfied. Using the moderate security risk levels, it indeed allowed him to increase his gains. However, it was also easy for the security risk levels to cause considerable losses. It was like a double-edged sword. This investment, during the next 3 exchange periods, it continued to rise and fall. However, its entire movement continued to gradually rise, making the countless investors to be extremely anxious. This was followed by a fall after. This investment continued to fall continuously another 3 times, causing others to dump all their stocks, but with no one to buy. Even if you wanted to sell now, you can't sell, everything will be stuck. Luo Hua sighed at the situation. Who knows how many have had a considerable loss of funds and forced to commit suicide. The boss is indeed formidable. The boss sure is calm. Within the workroom, looking at the 4 continuous falls, they all were covered in cold sweat. Every fall fell by 15%, until finally it hit only half of its previous highest price. Within 4 short exchanges, or 2 days' time, this sort of mad drop was too extreme. Some win, some lose. Luo Hua shook his head. The ones who know how to buy are formidable, but the ones who know how to sell are the true winners. Once you've reached your target, that's good enough, don't get too greedy. With this batch of money, I was initially prepared to have 20% to 30% that we wouldn't have been able to be sell. Who would have thought it worked out better than my expectations? Luo Hua ordered, all right, with this the prices should be solid, in this 1% category and investing 100 billion, there's no need for the security risk levels, and normally these prices will still fall. Understood. The workers under him immediately began to establish and invest. Even if it continued falling, they continued. Even if it rose, they invested. Whether it was a smart move or not, they would only know after the entire exchange was done. Calm down. Luo Hua was very clear that he could succeed. The main thing was to have absolute nerves of steel. This was something that his long years as a handicapped and depressed youth had trained out of him. Capturing the opportunity while remaining calm, plus talent and knowledge of investment from Earth, all these made Luo Hua the man he is. Big brother, I have 4.2 trillion here. During the 13th exchange period, Luo Hua had transferred this money to Luo Feng. Ganwu auction, normally it would go on for about 10 days, sometimes longer while sometimes shorter. Every batch of 1,000 items lasted about 3 to 6 hours, while the items themselves were not similar to each other. On the 10th day of the Ganwu auction, in the enormous auction hall, 1 million king-sized seats with large amounts of sector lords sitting in them, looking at the host in the middle. A total of 50 batches of items, 50,000 items, have all been sold. The turtle-shelled old man laughed. Right now, we've reached the climax of the entire auction. The final 100 items. Every one of these items are unique and only one of each is available. They are usually extremely valuable, but their starting bids are all zero. The end of the auction marked the beginning of the final auction. 4.2 trillion universe dollars. In a particular seat, an inconspicuous Luo Feng had an expression of extreme shock. Luo Hua said in his message that these are the profits. His capital wasn't affected at all. 10 days ago his little brother hadn't earned much. With a flash, he had already earned this much. Luo Feng was stunned. Ha ha, Luo Feng, your little brother's really skillful. Even if I was the one handling the accounts, I wouldn't compare to him. The higher the capital, the harder it is to earn. The other larger powers wouldn't let you take a piece of the pie. I seriously respect him. Babata complimented. With this over 4 trillion universe dollars, you might be able to get something from this last auction. The next item is the beginning of our final auction. To be able to start our conclusion, this item is definitely one of the top 3 valuable items. The golden leaf of the ancient class tree, yelled the turtle-shelled old man. At the same time, an image of a seemingly normal golden leaf appeared on the screen beside him. However, the entire leaf seemed to have a peculiar feeling to it. The fighters on the millions of seats throughout the auction started discussing in confusion. What is the ancient class tree? What is that? No idea. Out of the over 1 million sector lords present, basically 99.9% of them had no idea what this item was. Luo Feng was also confused. Babata, what is this? This auction sure can do it. This auction is definitely the best one of the Ganwu auctions in the past 10,000 years, sighed Babata. This golden leaf of the ancient class tree, even in the vast universe, is an extremely valuable item. Don't bother asking about it until you reach the undying level. It ties into a lot of complicated matters. Carry out my order, tell the Empire's investment branch to give me as much money as they can. On one of the various thrones in the auction, a long-haired middle-aged man with long eyelashes gave his order through his virtual assistant. Oh, the golden leaf of the ancient class tree. I came here this time just for a spot to study in the primal universe, but who would have thought I would run into the golden leaf? A fat man was wearing some peculiar armor. As he stood there, it seemed like an infinite amount of lightning was gathering around him. He seemed to be the avatar of the universe origin laws themselves. Those who know about this golden leaf knows how much it's worth. For those who don't, never mind. The authorities have requested that I don't go into the specifics. Yelled the turtle-shelled old man. Bidding begin. Starting bid. 0. The first item of the finale of the auction, the golden leaf of the ancient class tree, started to be auctioned off. 1,000 mixed element units. A number appeared on the cards of the million sector lords, the various rich people, and even the undying beings, which caused Luo Feng to gasp. 1,000 mixed element units right off the bat. Such an amount can purchase a few hundred life fruits and a small star sector. 2,000 mixed element units. 2,200 mixed element units. 2,800 mixed element units. 3,300 mixed element units. The rising price caused everybody to widen their eyes in awe. Even for undying beings, this was a gigantic amount. My lord, there isn't any money left in the royal reserves of the entire empire. Bastard. Cold darkness was currently emanating from the eyes of a bald, handsome, tall man as he cursed. As of now, the bids have already reached 5,000 mixed element units. This is too amazing. Luo Feng was shocked. The requirement for a 4-star client is 10,000 mixed element units, which is above average for an undying being, said Babata. The ones still bidding are probably all undying beings. Luo Feng nodded. Sector Lord Kabu's wealth could rival a poor undying being, which is around 200 to 300 mixed element units. And now, the bids have reached 5,000 mixed element units. Sector Lords could only stare at this price in awe. The first and last item of the finale are extraordinarily expensive, introduced Babata. 8,900 mixed element units. Any higher? The turtle-shelled old man smiled as he yelled. This price was already above their accepted standard. If nobody bid above the accepted standard, then the organizers of the auction will arrange for someone to purchase the item. 8,950 mixed element units. Another higher bid. 8,960 mixed element units. The price went up only by a bit every time. The price continued to rise, but the frequency lowered by quite a bit. Everyone, we're at 8,990 mixed element units. Any higher? The turtle-shelled old man looked around, beginning countdown. 10, 9, 3, 2, 1. Congratulations customer Boo 52,522, you just received this extremely valuable golden leaf of the ancient class tree. Luo Feng was shocked. Even his top-quality E-grade automaton race spaceship is only worth around 1,000 to 2,000 mixed element units. This price of 8,990 mixed element units is enough to purchase 5 or 6 of those automaton spaceships, and that price was used just for a golden leaf. As the rest of the items appeared, Luo Feng became calm. It seems like not all of these items were absurdly expensive. Out of the 100 items in the finale, only 2 or 3 were extremely expensive. 20 of them were a bit expensive. As for the rest of them, they could only count as extremely rare. Their price is within reason. 22,000 universe dollars, counting down. 3, 2, 1. Congratulations customer YPR 20,445, you just received this Tian Luo crystal. This next item is even more rare than the rest. Even in the auctions held in the various empires, one would rarely have the chance to encounter this item. The skin of a Moshe clansman, yelled the turtle-shelled old man. Instantly, the over 1 million sector lord fighters on their throne started to go into an uproar. Yes, the skin of a Moshe clansman, you didn't hear wrong, the turtle-shelled old man was extremely excited. A peculiar black piece of skin appeared on the display beside him. On the skin was some dark golden engravings. Humans, monsters, etc. are all flesh-type beings. But the Moshe clan's people are energy-type beings. As long as their energy core doesn't extinguish, they won't die. Even if they die, the energy of that Moshe clansperson will dissipate, leaving behind just a shattered energy core. Killing him is already extremely difficult, but to try to obtain their skin is even more difficult. As a clan specializing in assassination, as the ones that space itself favors, their skin contains the universe origin laws of space. I'm sure everyone understands the price of this skin. The million sector lords in the auction started discussing with each other. Luo Feng, who was sitting on one of the many thrones, was also excited. The Moshe clan, Luo Feng, this is the skin of a Mosha clansman. If we say the golden horned beast is naturally talented in the universe origin laws of gold, then the Moshe clan is talented in the universe origin laws of space. If you use its skin to nurture your second clone, this is like a dream combo. Babata was extremely excited. Luo Feng froze. His golden horned beast could have a total of 3 clones. The first clone is his human from Earth. Now that his golden horned beast has reached the universe level, he could indeed nurture his second clone. Since he could only have 3 clones in total, Luo Feng didn't dare to take it lightly. If he couldn't find a suitable one, he would rather hold it off temporarily. Moshe clan. Luo Feng was a bit expectant and confused. There are many races throughout the vast universe. The most powerful ones are the flesh-type ones. However, other life forms cannot be underestimated. For example, there are peculiar races that can live forever. There are metallic life forms, energy life forms, soul life forms, plant life forms, etc. Metallic life forms can be divided into 10 million different kinds, and there are billions of plant life forms. Some life forms are naturally favored by the universe. The Moshe clan of the energy life forms are one of the most elite races. The Moshe race has the title of the most powerful assassination race. Their only weak point is that they grow extremely slowly. However, once they grow, they'll become one of the most horrifying assassins. They are naturally talented in comprehending space, so their appearances are extremely peculiar and their escaping methods cannot be predicted. Luo Feng, with your Moshe clan clone, your studies in the spatial techniques will be 2 times easier. Followed Babata. Luo Feng nodded. Yes, he had to choose the best choices for the 3 clones of the golden horned beast. This skin of the Moshe clan was indeed a suitable choice. And their most valuable part is their skin. Since they are an energy life form, their bodies would normally dissipate like energy on death, leaving behind just a shattered energy core. Only when they are killed under special circumstances are their bodies preserved. So its skin is extremely valuable. Oh yeah, the price of this skin is quite high, probably at least a few hundred mixed element units. You can't afford it, said Babata. Luo Feng was speechless. Can't afford. Such a good choice for his second clone, and he couldn't afford this piece of skin. I actually don't need that much, I only need a tiny bit of the skin. Thought Luo Feng to himself. However, he understood that nobody would be stupid enough to give just a bit of the skin to Luo Feng. Unfortunately, I must inform you all that this is not a complete piece of Moshe clansman's skin. The turtle-shelled old man pointed to the display beside him, which displayed the black piece of skin with the peculiar dark golden engravings on them. This skin is only a tiny portion of the skin of the Moshe clansman. The rest was either torn apart or destroyed during the battle. Man, what was I expecting? Trying to learn from the engravings on the piece of skin is already an extraordinarily difficult task. 1 out of 10,000 people would already have trouble succeeding. If you could just trigger some thoughts, that would be good enough already. As for an incomplete piece of skin, there's basically no chances of success. Got all excited for nothing. Discussion was rampant across the auction. The difference between a complete portion of skin and an incomplete portion was as large as heaven and earth. This disappointed many of the people here, but one youth was extremely excited. Incomplete. The more incomplete the better, the more the better. Luo Feng's eyes flashed. Babata followed. Luo Feng, the price of an incomplete portion is much lower than a complete portion. According to my estimations, you should be able to get it with 2 or 3 mixed element units. However, if some undying being wants this and randomly bids, it could raise up to 10 mixed element units, if not higher. Luo Feng was speechless. Out of the roughly 1 million participants, there were indeed some undying beings. If an undying being wanted it, then the price could soar. To an undying being, 10 mixed element units was indeed not too big of a number. They probably won't fight over it, thought Luo Feng to himself. That is up to your luck. Most undying beings wouldn't fight over some incomplete engravings, but one of them just might. Said Babata. Luo Feng clenched his teeth. He had to go all out. And also leave it to fate. This Moshe clansman skin was definitely an extremely suitable choice for his second clone. As one of the peak energy life forms and the most powerful assassin, even if it was slightly inferior to the golden horned beast, it wasn't inferior by much. Even a sector lord's entire fortune could not afford its skin, which was a testament to its value. Even if it is extremely hard to learn something from the engravings on a Moshe clansman's skin, there still exists a chance. Furthermore, the skin of a Moshe clansman is very rare. The numbers of the Moshe clansmen are extremely few, so this piece of skin is definitely one of the most valuable collection items. Just its worth for collection purposes is already quite high, said the turtle-shelled old man loudly, which caused Luo Feng to grind his teeth. Alright, let the bids begin. Starting bid is also 0. 1 mixed element. The first bid appeared on everyone's auction cards. The auction for the Moshe clansman skin begins.